Hey guys, this morning I woke up and I realized something about myself, and this is gonna be really hard to say. I walked into the bathroom and I looked at the mirror and I saw that I was white. And there are a lot of things I've done in my life that I am ashamed of, but this is just so much worse. I just feel so guilty. Just kidding, this video is about white guilt. I have actually been accused of having white guilt a lot. And to be honest, I think that this is actually pretty ridiculous. I don't feel bad that I'm white. I don't feel guilty for being white. I don't think the things that my parents' did in any way reflects on me. I have seen photos of things online of people wearing shirts that say I'm sorry, where they're chained up and walking around. White guilt, to me, is just absolutely ridiculous, but there's a huge difference between white guilt and acknowledging present-day racism. I don't suffer from straight guilt, even though I make tons and tons of videos on gay rights and trans rights. I don't feel bad that I am not trans. I don't feel bad that I'm not gay. But whenever it comes to racism, for some reason, people who are extremely racist don't admit it. And instead of admitting that they're a racist asshole, they play the victim card and say, oh, well, you just want me to have white guilt. TJ actually made a pretty good video on this a while ago where he pointed out that a lot of people also accuse him of having white guilt and the reasons why he thinks pointing out modern day racism is not the equivalent of white guilt. Does he feel bad for being a white dude? No. Do I feel bad for being a white girl? No. Do we acknowledge that there might be some problems with race and inequalities that we still need to work on as a society? Yes. Big difference. And now this video is about to take a turn. This girl is extremely racist. She made a video on YouTube and it's titled, "Listen Up, Lazy White People." All right, are you guys listening? All of you evil, dirty, disgusting white people out there? You listening? Yes, Jacqueline, we are listening.
No. Those out there with a melanin deficiency?
Those out there with a melanin deficiency, you know what? I think she's discriminating against people who actually have diseases related to melanin deficiencies. One form of melanin deficiency is actually known as albinism. I'm sure a lot of you have already heard of that, but there's another one where there's a lack of neuromelanin in the brain and it can lead to Parkinson's disease. So that's just hilarious. Let's make fun of all of them too.
No. Those out there with a melanin deficiency, it is not the job of black women to explain to you all in nauseam the ramifications of racism and white supremacy.
In nauseam? You mean ad nauseum?
In nauseam.
Later in this video, she points out how Google is the best thing ever and that everyone should use it to look up information, and I'm going to suggest to you that you use it next time you want to use a big word.
We are not obligated to educate you on our oppression that we have to experience daily, that you benefit from on the daily.
Okay, first of all, I didn't ask. I have no expectations of any information coming from you. I'd rather not hear you talk more than I need to.
That you benefit from.
Why is the finger getting pointed at me? I didn't do anything wrong. Oh yeah, I'm white.
It's not our job. You are not entitled to our time.
Jesus Christ, you would think that something horrible happened to this girl to make her feel like everyone is always demanding of so much information from her all the time, always. When in fact, she later reveals that someone asked her one question on Tumblr in a polite way, and this is why she's freaking out.
You are not entitled to our labor. You are not entitled to our kindness. Bitch, you're not even entitled to a sliver of the sidewalk when we're walking outside. You're not entitled to
Excuse me? I'm not entitled to walk by you on the sidewalk? Are you kidding me? Pretty sure it's gonna be on public property, so... This reminds me so much of these like radical feminists that just hate every man, even if they haven't done anything wrong. They just blame everything on the entire gender. This girl is just blaming everything on every single person who is white. Oh, she is? She's a feminist. Perfect.
White people feel as if, you know, it's the job of black people, but black women in particular, to explain to them racism and sexism and misogynoir and anything else they can think of on that random date just because they asked.
Okay, people are allowed to ask questions unless they say, I demand an answer, and they're holding a gun to your head or they're putting some kind of pressure on you in some kind of way to absolutely give them an answer. Asking a question is not something that's rude or disrespectful. Do you know how many questions people ask me every day about my life, about atheism, about how I get through certain situations. Do you know how many people who write me about my lack of religion that are religious? Am I like, oh my God, how dare any of you Christians ask me a question about why I'm not a Christian anymore? I do not owe you any kind of explanation. Actually, whenever I get questions from people who are religious, I really appreciate it. They maybe relate to me in some kind of way, and that's why it's so important to me that there are so many different voices speaking out for the same cause, because you never know who is going to relate to someone, who's going to hit home with someone, especially since the things that I talk about are things that are really important to me. And spreading that awareness means something to me. Take it as a compliment and use that as a chance to further your cause.
This is all sparked by a particular incident that happened on Tumblr. So anyway, I'm on Tumblr. I said, yeah, I got a message. You know, you get all happy when you got a message. It's like, oh, somebody want to talk to me.
Yay, somebody wants to talk to me, but don't ask me any fucking questions.
So yeah, I go in there and I see, hello, sir/ma'am. Is white privilege a thing? If so, elaborate. Elaborate? Bitch, who was you demanding information from? First off,
asking someone to elaborate on something is not a demand. Have you not been around demanding people in your life? Politely asking, do you think this thing exists? If you do, please explain or please elaborate. How in the hell is that demanding?
If you don't know what white privilege is, this is kind of like racism 101 type shit. So if you don't even know what that is, like, you are very far behind.
Okay, so if you don't know what it is, you're pretty much an idiot. So asking to find out what it is what someone should do, right? To find out. Oh no, that's just rude. So you're stupid for not knowing and you're stupid for asking. Awesome.
If you're a black woman, that's fine. I will teach you all goddamn day. This is what I do. This is what I'm passionate about. But if you are anyone outside of the realm of a black woman, if you're not in that group specifically, girl, like, go to Google.
Ugh. This is what you do, and this is what I just basically said about how I answer questions because it's what I do and what I'm passionate about. Therefore, I answer questions. You only answer people who are exactly like you. That's like the epitome of racism and sexism. Not to mention, you basically just called anyone who doesn't already know this an idiot. So everyone's an idiot unless you're a black woman. Then you're not an idiot. Feel free to ask me every question.
Google is always free. I think I say that in like every one of my videos. Google is free, bitch. She is open 24/7. She is always busting out all the knowledge.
But I'm not gonna say that to any black woman who writes me and asks me questions. I will answer her fully and give her some personal life experience and maybe have a meaningful conversation that will actually change her mind from one-on-one interaction. Everyone else, you can go to fucking Google.
So yeah, he comes in there demanding information, and I politely direct him to my PayPal. No free intellectual labor or fuck you pay me or some shit like that. Something along the lines of you paying me for the information that you expect me to give you.
I can't even imagine the response that I would get or how I would feel if I wrote somebody, you know, asking a personal question about maybe something religion related, or somebody asked me a question and the response was, pay me.
Fuck you, pay me, or some shit like that.
The people that write you questions are most likely people that are your viewers, and that's why they asked you a question to begin with. That's why they went to you. How dare you be so stuck up and cruel and mean to these people who give you a platform to speak?
You know how you pay for services, you pay for products, I mean shit, you pay for education. So I don't even understand why you expect me, a stranger, to answer all of your questions just because you asked them. Oh wait, I know why. You're white. Duh.
But again, you can do that if you're a black woman, then it's totally fine.
So yeah, basically when I screen capture that or whatever and I put it on Tumblr.
Why does you using Tumblr not just totally shock me?
Your cause is never going to get any attention if this is how you treat your allies. Went all the way with that shit. Called that nigga an ally and he don't even know what white privilege is. Girl, where do they do that at? Please inform me. Give me the coordinates.
Oh, you want to know the coordinates? You're asking me a question? Well, let me direct you to my Patreon where you can make a donation and then maybe I will answer your question.
One, we don't need you guys. And if you feel as if we need you guys to get our point across,
I'm sorry, but yes, you do. People need allies. If the only people that ever fought for a cause were people that immediately benefited from that cause, no one would take it seriously. With any cause, allies are extremely important. Why in the hell would you try to alienate people who are on your side and want to help you? You think I would hesitate for a second to stand beside a guy who was trying to fight for women's rights? And the only scenario that I can see in which someone wouldn't appreciate that kind of support would be if they just didn't like the person they were getting support from, which in my scenario would make me a sexist, and in your scenario would make you a sexist and a racist.
Any of you motherfucking guys. So if you really feel like you want to hop up into my video and my comments and my mentions with that white savior complex, bitch, you can exit stage left. Don't come up into my shit demanding that I educate you on something that you can find for free. Like, that shit really pisses me off. Like,
I still cannot get over the fact that the reason that she's so angry is because someone asked her a fucking question.
you really feeling as if you're entitled to my time. You really feel like I am obligated. Like, girl, you do not matter. Your opinions do not matter. I care about and I work towards uplifting, empowering, and mobilizing Black women. That's it. So if you fall outside of those realms, I don't know what to tell you. Actually, I know what to tell you. Fuck you, pay me.
I don't know what to tell you other than I'm extremely racist and extremely sexist. Also, fuck you and pay me for some reason.
Charge these niggas.
I mean, shit, if information is so valuable, then maybe Google shouldn't be free. Hey guys, I just thought of this brilliant new idea. I'm gonna start a search engine and it's gonna be called Fuck You, Pay Me. I'm sure that won't turn anyone off to learning new information. So at the end of all of this, no, I do not personally suffer from white guilt. But unfortunately, a lot of people do. And videos like this contribute to that way of thinking. And if you wanna live in a society where people are treated equally, then maybe you should start by treating people, I don't know, equally. Where do you fall on the spectrum of white guilt and racism? Because it can clearly either be one or the other. Rational middle grounds just don't exist on the world of the internet. Anyways, thanks for watching. All my social media links are in the description below. Like this video if you liked it, share it everywhere, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Blame the Jews! This is literally my grandpa.
The Jews bring with them a unique destructive force. There is no race that is as destructive as the Jews.